Anyway, my name is Gould. I'm a photographer. I'm based in Lafayette here. I live about a mile from here. And I have been here since the 70s. Came from California, Iberia, worked at the Daily Iberian, first job out of college. And it was a newspaper in a town where there was no news, so you had to learn the art of beating the bushes and looking for things to photograph. And they let me do anything. It was wonderful. Anyway, and then I left and went to Dallas, Texas, and moved back, 78, started freelancing and doing cultural documentary work on South Louisiana subjects, including the Cajuns, and you name it, all kinds of things. Cane River, did a book on the Capitol buildings in Baton Rouge, just you name it. Anyway, and a while back I was talking with a gentleman named Herman Fuselier, who's a writer for the Daily Advertiser, also very much of a cultural enthusiast, and he got through the interview and I said, well, Sir Herman, what are you doing these days? And he says, well, I like just this project I'd like to do. It's on all these old dance halls that are shut down and the buildings are barely standing, and all this kind of thing. And I looked at him and I said, Herman, that's amazing. And so he and I have been working on it ever since. And so the photographs I'm going to show you are from the project. They are photographs of places that are gone or barely there or what have you. And there's also a number of them that are open at the end. So, and I think the premise of the book is that this is not a death of anything in terms of traditional music. Traditional music is alive and well in South Louisiana. It's just that the venues have changed and a lot of the classical dance halls are like outdated dinosaurs. And that's just the brutal truth. And, but they're beautiful. And nature has taken its toll, and so, anyway, so let's get started. First place I went to, the first weekend I was in Louisiana in 1974, a reporter and his wife took me to a place called the Blue Moon Dance Hall, Blue Moon Club, which is over in Iberia, in a Cajun area called Ticoto. And so I walked in there, and first of all, that building just struck me at how it almost seemed to lean. But I walked in, and this gentleman here was playing, and in between songs, shouting out rapid fire Cajun French, and you can see one of the more regular patrons there. And the amazing thing was just how this wave of heads, everyone's dancing. It's, the Cajun waltz is sort of a lockstep. The husband or the two partners are moving as one. And it was a whole sea of these people. It was just an amazing sight. The other thing that was really scary, I came from California, and to help with you had security people, you had a deputy sheriff and you had a city policeman. And what shocked me was that they were helping the waitresses serve drinks. And I just thought that was a little strange, but slowly the logic of it dawned on me, and it was simply this: there are no fights, the waitresses are overworked, the least they could do is help deliver drinks to the table. So anyway, there's one of that gentleman there, he was one of the deputies. Anyway.
Did he dance?
Oh, I'm sure he does, but not when he's working.
Was that Joel Chenier in that first weekend?
This guy?
The guy in the apartment.
That's Aldous Mouton.
Aldous Mouton, okay.
Aldous Mouton, in the daytime, was a hairdresser. And you can almost kind of tell by half the band was his clients here. Anyway, this is a daytime. The place had 4-foot or 5-foot wall fans. No air conditioning, there's no point. And so it just blowed air in there like crazy. This is Aldous Roger, who some of you may know. And this is a benefit for a cancer survivor. And they were auctioning off all these items here. And you can see, of course, beer, rice, Coca-Cola, that's all good and fine, whiskey. They had Jesus on the cross, and they had this couple here. I don't know what that was about. But, you know, so you can't, I'm not smart enough to do this, to make this up. This only happens in real life. Anyway. The place was really cool. It had a very low ceiling, and it had some sort of shiny surface on it. So it was a real trick to photograph. You kind of had to put the light out there and hope for the best. So, this is one of my favorite pictures from there. This is two widows dancing off to the side. This is a place called Bradford's White Eagle. I'm curious, is it possible to make the image darker? Can you darken it a tiny bit? Living room, that's good enough. What the hell? Whoops, no, that's not going to work. Living room was good. When Herman Fuselier talked about the idea that he had, his inspiration came from this place. This is an Opelousas. It's an old R&B dance hall. You know, it had triplets on the triplet circuit. People like Ray Charles or Bobby Bluebland or Sam Cooke, folks like that would come through there all the time before integration. And Herman, his parents were friends of the owners. So the parents would come over there and they would let Herman stay next door in the living room with their friend, their kids, and he'd be watching TV while the parents are out partying here. And you can only imagine the imagination running wild in the 10-year-old kid about this place. So that's the front, side door. This is a place down in Cutoff, Louisiana, along Bayou Lafourche. I don't know if you're familiar with Bayou Lafourche. It's Lee Brothers Dance Hall, and this was owned by a family, and it was the community gathering point for like the 30s, 40s, 50s, a little bit even further past that. But the family just kind of stopped, and people die and this kind of thing, and so it's sat there for I don't know how many decades. But it's heartbreaking because you look at it and you say, you know, just a little bit of extra electricity, a little wiring, a little touch up here, you know, we get this place up and running, and it's harder than that. I mean, it's just the codes you'd be killed by the codes, and there's no parking, and you know, it's just you go in there and it breaks your heart to see it.
What's the name of this place again?
It's called Lee Brothers Dance Hall.
Lee Brothers.
Yeah.
In what town?
Excuse me?
In what town?
It's Cutoff, Louisiana. Yeah.
You know if it's still there?
The building's still there. Oh yeah, you drive down, you see it. It's on the bottom side. This is an example of the electricity they have. Just a wonderful light bulb still there. This is another view of the dance floor. And they would have these benches all the way around so people would sit and stuff. This is the view of the dance hall from the other side of Bayou Lafourche. Let's see. Here we go. This is a place called the French Club. This is up near Leonville, and it was open for about 2 years, 1959 to 1961 by this guy. And the place was a little too close to a Catholic church, and the priest started working the situation, and some bad things happened, and he thought it might be the hand of God, and so he just shut it down. And so now it sits in the middle of this new forest. You kind of have to do the Louisiana Explorer routine to get to it, as you can see, and it's just amazing. That's all the tables and chairs that were there, been there all along. The bar stool. just beautiful.
It never leaked, I guess. The roof.
That's a good question. You know, maybe, but not a lot.
Yeah.
This was bizarre. It's like a time warp. You recognize that brand of beer? Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Those are unopened bottles of Jack's beer from the 1960s. And you can see all the liquor licenses from 1960-61 that he still had on the bulletin board. This is a place called Magnolia Hall or St. Joseph's Hall. It's on the River Road near Vacherie, close to where Oak Alley is. And it's just another beautiful old structure. I just love it. And it served as a sort of a community hall for benevolent associations, and they had dances there, and you name it. And you can see this is the inside. It's pretty modest, but you know, you see there's holes in the floor, but it's relatively good shape. People in South Louisiana know this place. It's called the Purple Peacock. It was sort of like a half football night party, beer bus joint / nightclub. And this is the interior of it.
What town?
In Eunice. This is a photograph of a place on St. James, further up the river on the west bank. And just nice brick, but I love the almost the penimento of various layers of signs that were painted over and rusted out. Le Rendezvous Lounge, probably, and then something else before that, and before that. This is a place up in Mamou. Y'all know where Mamou is? Called Papa Paul's. It's a Creole place, long closed, and right on the edge of town. This is the entrance, and then this is Little Ann Goodley, who was an up-and-coming Zydeco star at one point, and her grandfather, who owned the place. He also served as the security and the law all in one. If y'all know where Pierre Part is, you ever heard of Pierre Part? Pierre Part is a river rat community on the west side of the Chapala Basin, north of Morgan City. This is a place that's pretty famous there called the Rainbow Inn. Sadly, it's closed and, you know, sits there like an edifice, if you will. Anyway, this is the front door. And these are the owners before the place closed, mother and daughter. Yes, Bork's Club. You might have heard of Bork's Club, an old Cajun dance hall, long, closed. It's a classic case where the parents, Mrs. Bork, I can't remember her name. Oh, do you remember her first name? Elaine, yeah, Bork. She just decided, did she die? She died, and then they just decided to stop. You know, it was running out of gas. A lot of these places just, the business gets so slow that people just stop. They give up and they, anyway, this was a beautiful place. No longer. I was up there yesterday, and this is the state of it now. The sign here, which was a classic. You know, you never saw that kind of couple at Bork's Club. Tuxedo, ballroom dancing, you know, it's kind of like that. But somehow the image stuck to the place. If you have any questions, you're welcome to interrupt me. I don't mind. This is the interesting thing. I was there one time, years and years ago, and photographed this picture. These are 4 couples, all at one table. I look at this and I say that this is a Cajun quadruple date. And if there was a car that had 4 seats wide, The men would be in the front and the women would be all in the back. And I just remember this, the tablecloths all there. And when this place finally closed, I think what happened is that they closed the door, they locked it, and they just walked away. And the place slowly deteriorated to the point where it looked like that. Which is a bit heartbreaking. And I suspect it's even worse now. It's just, but you can see the floors rotted out, and it looks like the earth is swallowing up the chairs and everything. But the brick tablecloths are doing pretty good. They actually look like they might make it. This is a place up, if you all know Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is a good and right semi-Presbyterian Protestant town, so the bars close early. But across the river in West Baton Rouge Parish, unincorporated, you have places that will open all hours. This was one of them called Nick's, and it's closed obviously, and nature is slowly getting the final word.
How do you spell that?
Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah. This is a close-up of the martini glass or whatever it is. Excuse me? That was a neon light, yeah. When you say dance halls, I'm taking a semi-loose view of it. I mean, clubs, dance halls, you know, as you'll see. French Casino Club, which is out in Mamou, outside of town. And there it is. It's next to another place which you'll see what's his name? I can't think of his name. T. Manuel was the owner. He very famous in the area. He ran all the jukeboxes all over South Louisiana. But he also had several clubs in Mamou. Mamou was a pretty freewheeling town at the time. He had a big army base up Fort Polk, which is maybe 75 miles away. So on weekends, that area was dry, so they'd all come to places like Mamou, Ville Platte, what have you. He also, this is all very Cajun area, so they had no issues about drinking and dancing and all this. This is the inside of it. It's now used sort of as storage, if you will. Well, if this was in Austin, man, somebody would have found it. But yeah, he just stacked them up. I said, that's weird. This is a place in near St. Martin called Club Leon. Although that was the name of it when it was run by this couple. They gave up, and the owners of it are now opening it back up sometime this spring. They're going to call it Club Chateau Charles. It's going to be an old-time Zydeco place. This is one of my favorite places. This is called Auto Club, which is on, if you know where New Iberia is, it's on the road from there to another type village called Lorville. And there was a community called Rochon Community, and this was a club that was there. And you can see that nature has really had its toll on this building, but it's still, to me, it's beautiful. You all went to this place, I understand, Southern Club. And what amazes me about this is that it is so big. This is huge. I mean, if you think about the economics of trying to make this place work, and how many people you have to have there inside on a regular basis, and how far it is from population bases right now, and everything, it just can't be done. But it's beautiful nonetheless. I don't know if you recognize that view from the stage. Chairs and tables. And then this is another view I took of the front of the club, which, you know, the whole place, the last thing that's going to fall apart are the aluminum doors that he put on there at some point. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Hamilton's Club, which is in Lafayette here. It was a great place. It was not a good place, but they also had White Night, and so you'd have various bands come play for that. And I never understood why Hollywood never discovered this place. It is so classic, straight out of Central Casting, but you never see it. Anyway, this is at dawn. It closed in 2005. This was the final night. In fact, yeah. Thank you for reading, Bill. And this is the interior of it. This is a place, Dreamland Club, near Franklin, which I think is nicely named. Long closed. I never went inside or anything, but I just saw that. I said, that's too good. In Plaquemine, there's this old sort of 1940s place, dancing and cocktails. And one night I was over there, and the place just became beautiful.
What town?
It's in a town called Plaquemine. Plaquemine is south of Baton Rouge along the Mississippi on the west bank. We get to Slim's Waikiki, just an exterior of the place there. Another place, another sad story because it was going slow. This is the stage, Hawaiian motif. Chairs with old-fashioned wall fans. This is Terrence Simeon as a young boy, first starting out playing at Slim's Waikiki, and then, what's his name? Gladney. Tony Gladney, behind the bar. He shut it down, what, in the last 6 months or so? This is a place called the Bon Chance Club, obviously. It's on north of Pierre Part along this curvy highway that runs through a swamp. So I think the owner had a bit of a sense of humor when he named the club. And he put up Christmas lights and to announce the club. This is you can see the side view of it. This is Mr. Clement Venturgeon, his daughter Lydia, as a customer. He's one of these guys who was not very talkative, but a lot of fun. And the dance hall, there's a dance hall inside there, and it is, if there could be a Cajun dance hall museum, this would be an excellent candidate. It's just beautiful. I mean, it's all kind of worn out and run down, but at the same time, it's immaculate. Yeah, well, sort of. Yeah, I love it.
What's in your photo?
Well, the photo's not lying. It's in really good shape. The variety of table styles and tablecloths and chairs. Moving along. Yes, this is the Holiday Lounge. It's Tia Manuel. Tia Manuel was the jukebox guy, very powerful figure in Mamou, who was very good friends with our Cajun governor, Edwin Edwards. And he was very proud of being associated with Edwards. He wanted to show his pride, and that included putting the governor's portrait on top of the building, and next to it is a stripper. It kind of fit, you know. This is the inside. The hairdos are priceless. And this is the dance floor. Sort of old-fashioned psycho disco kind of place. For all you people who want to start up a Cajun dance hall, this building is for sale. It's up near Opelousas. It's called Happy Landing Club, and most recently it's called Woodman of the World Lodge. But it's just there. It's beautiful. It's a classic looking structure. This is the inside. All set to go. Electricity's there. Everything. One problem is out in the middle of nowhere, so that's, yeah.
Price?
I think about 45,000. Yeah, I know. This is a place down south of Houma towards Petit Caillou called the Bon Ton Roulé Club. LABONTONROULE Club. And it too is closed and barely standing. This is a place called the Levi Club, which is near Abbeville, close to here, a Creole community called Breaux Bridge. And the owners of the club live in the houses next to it. And it's beautiful. It looks like a barn to me. And this is the inside. This is a club I just discovered the other day called RC's. It was an old Cajun dance hall in Ridge. I don't know if you've ever seen this one before. I was over talking to the chief of police in Dusson about another club, and I said, is there any other country western places? And he said this one, so just beautiful. To me it's beautiful, I love it. Now it's used for storage of everything. It's just no longer, they're going to tear it down at some point. This is the Triangle Club, which is in Scott, no longer there. It too was a classic, very popular in the local community. This is a dance, wedding dance they had there. This is Clifton Chenier Club, which is built by Clifton Chenier, actually his wife. And out in the middle of nowhere, once again, near Lorville. And I love the sign. Cleveland, Fernand Crochet, or Fernand. This is the place. And every year they would have a birthday party for Clifton, and a lot of people came. This year they had Andre Thierry playing, and this is, I don't remember the woman's name, but she's a granddaughter of Cleveland Chenier, who's the four-tron player for Clifton. Now which leads us to Lafayette. There are several clubs in Lafayette that have, that are closed or open. And this is a view of two of them. This is Grand Street Dance Hall, which is kind of closed. And this is a newer place in an old building called Feed and See. And this is Feed and See Before Dawn. And then this is the inside of Feed and See. This is a new place called Club 535, built by a guy named Mark. It's actually a converted warehouse, Mark Favre. And it has a beautiful long porch, and people gather on that all the time. And then this is the inside. El Cido's nightclub, you probably all know about El Cido's club. They would have a Thanksgiving benefit, and all kinds of people would come play. And I was lucky enough to get a photograph of all kinds of folks here. Whoops. I think this is Curly Taylor, Rockin' Dipsy Jr., Anthony Dupsy, Buckwheat, Terrence Simeon, Zydeco Joe, Chubby Carrier, Bojack, Nathan Williams, and then this is Nathan's son, Nathan Williams Jr., who was probably 12 at the time. So, We get to La Pouissiere. La Pouissiere was hit by a tornado and suffered a fair amount of damage. He just, business was slow, and Lawrence Patin just said, forget it, I don't want to do it. And everyone came to him and said, we'll help you repair it, get back up. And so they had a grand opening night, day, and several photographs on it. People gathered. Before La Pouissiere was done, integrated, and it became integrated at some point several years ago. And so blacks and whites were there. Steve Riley playing. This is a place, Lakeview Dance Hall, which is up near north of Eunice at a campground. This is not the dance hall. This is a barn which they converted to a dance hall. This is the inside here. The dance hall is a big old structure that they have not been using as a dance hall, but they hope to one day, which I don't have a photograph that's worth it on. Let's see. Richard's Club. This is the old Richard's Club. This is the new good one. We call it Miller's Hall of Fame. And I think this is the last photograph here. This you may recognize is Vermilionville, and make the case that Vermilionville is, the performance center here is a dance hall. Which leads to the whole notion, I know that you all are interested in preservation of dance halls and all that. There are a lot of places where people do dancing that are sort of customized, if you will, this being one. This is much about history and culture, preservation. The Blue Moon Dance Hall is a bread and breakfast. Mulots is a restaurant. So the function happens in different venues now, but it's still a very viable function.